Hello, lovelies. Happy Motivational Monday. Who is here? Who's hanging out today? We have had so many wonderful testimonials already from the sprint. Well, I shouldn't say already. Monday, we started a week ago Monday, and today we have got all kinds of fabulous testimonials. It's so exciting. Hello, Cassie. Hello, Sarah. Good to see you. Yeah, I love Mondays, the Monday after this whole situation, because we get to see exactly what's going on with everyone and how they did. And this also just creates within me this you know, I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to see patterns. So the patterns that I'm seeing have been, I mean, this is it. Just every single time that we have the sprint, or we have something else, or whatever it is that we're having, or the results, when I'm watching people after 25 years of doing this, I see patterns emerging. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, because I think the patterns are indicative of the commitment, you know? Anyway, so I'm so glad to see you all, and thank you for showing up, and thank you for being so supportive and so great. I am going to be asking you for some prayers today. I have a couple of things that are just really in dire need of prayer. And one is for our own Jenny. Her husband is in the ER right now. So be praying for her husband. Be sending lots and lots of healing prayers. Let's get him home. You know, life is always handing us things that we need to overcome. And I believe with all of my heart that this is going to be taken care of, that God is in this place and he's listening. And so I'm calling on y'all to do this. This is what we do. This is part of our community commitment to each other. We lift each other up. You know, we lift each other up when we're together. We lift each other up in prayer when we're apart, and we keep our family together. You know, this is so critical, and this is how we love one another, and this is how we support one another. Amen. So keep her in prayer, please. Keep Jenny in prayer so she can be the strength that she needs to be for her family at this time, and for her husband, that they get to the bottom of it and they say, hey, he's safe to leave. Oh, Jenny's here. Say hello, everyone. She's probably doing it from his hospital bed. But anyway, this is exactly, you know, this is the thing. I love this community because this is exactly what you do. When I ask, you guys deliver. You're amazing. And I so appreciate it, because this is, you know, this is how come this community is so incredible. I know those prayers are going up, Juanita, and I know Lucy's praying. I know all of you who are saying, hey, I'm praying. I know you're not just typing that out. I know you're actually right now praying. So keep that up. I want us to be that on fire for everything. And this is, you know, it's not only commitment, but it's also care, and it's love and support, encouragement. It's all of it. And it means everything to me. I know it means everything to Jenny, and it means everything to this community, because we have the opportunity to do that. It's an opportunity. So anyway, by the way, I will say your results have been astounding. And our own Jenny, 13 pounds. I think she's the big winner this time. We've had 10 pounds, we've had inches, we've had all kinds of stuff, and you guys keep posting. It's phenomenal. It's fantastic. We're out of electricity right now. We're running on our generator. We haven't had electricity since last night. We had a big tree go down around here somewhere. 300 people in the area are out of electricity. I'm not complaining. I'm saying thank you, God, that we have this lovely generator. Otherwise, I wouldn't, you know, be able to be seeing you right now. So yay for generators. Also, please keep our supplier in prayer. We are, you know, having glitches again, and I just, the smoothing out, that's God's hand. So if you would just keep that in mind, we do have some things in inventory that we're hoping for, but there's some other things that they're having supply issues on, and this is still the way. A lot of people think, well, it's just not, the pandemic is over, and it's just not. We're having spikes here in North Carolina. 13 states are getting their comeuppance. I think the media kind of focuses on those big areas and forgets about us little guys over here. So I'm just saying, little guy over here, we're still sheltering in a little bit, And the effect of all of this, is that supply chain has been broken. And they're mending it together as best they can. They're having issues, and on. So our body clutter supplements, they're getting low. If you want them, get them now. Don't mess around. We don't have that many. They don't have black bottles. I'm almost saying, hey, we'll put them in white bottles if you don't have them. But they're waiting for that. They're waiting for a few other raw supplies. But listen, and this is, I'm not giving you this false scarcity thing here. I'm just saying, if you need supplements, then get on it. Don't mess around. I ordered a vitamin C that I always get. I have to wait until the end of July to get it. The end of July. So this is the way it is. If you need something, get it now. And, do yourself a favor. You can get free shipping if you just put InflaCrusher in there. And InflaCrusher, I've told you about this. InflaCrusher is my go-to for any kind of pain relief. Because I'm telling you, we default to Advil, we default to Tylenol. Do you understand? There's 50,000 deaths a year from these over-the-counter type pain relievers. They are in the EU. That is a subscription medication. 50,000 deaths a year. It causes liver damage. It causes all kinds of problems, and it destroys your gut lining. We have other things that we can do, and plus drinking your water. My goodness, can we just talk about that? That's amazing. Anyway, so there you go. I'm just letting you know, this is where we are. Newsflash, this is where we are. And I am looking at you. I'm asking you to keep all of this in prayer, and I'm also asking you to keep supporting us. This is what keeps us in business. This is what keeps me here every single day. I haven't taken a day off from this for months. So I take InflaCrusher daily, and then I'll take more when I need it. Here's the problem. Just stress alone will cause an inflammatory reaction in your body. Just stress. This is why there's so many different components. It's why I talk about being hydrated, getting enough sleep, making sure there's adequate fat in your diet. All these things that I talk about is so that we can bring about optimal health. Did you hear that? Look at what Jenny just said. Ibuprofen gave my mom a bleeding ulcer that nearly killed her. I rest my case. A lot of times they don't work. And I know people who will just, nonchalantly take like 3 ibuprofen. That is a prescription strength pain reliever. We need to start using alternative measures. That's why I'm all about the InflaCrusher. So when you throw InflaCrusher in your cart, you get, and by the way, yeah, if you throw it in your cart, you also get free shipping. That's substantial. Put ships free in the promo window and you're there. Just do it. Today's the day. Get on it. And by the way, everybody wants to know about the Mindful Mug. Yes, you get a Mindful Mug with a $200 order. Easy to do if you are stocking up. And I'm calling you to stock up because, again, what I'm hearing from our supplier is what's happening to all supplement companies. We're not out of the weeds, y'all. We're not out of the weeds. We get a media snapshot of what's going on and everything's like hunky-dory and this is opening up and that's opening up. But take a closer look. There's still issues going on and I'm staying sheltered in. I'm not going to go get my hair done. I'm going to stay in. I'm going to try the gym. Our gym just opened, but they're doing it on appointment basis. They're doing it with everything opened up, the whole thing opened up. They have certain precautions. I will see how it is tomorrow. And they're doing it only, there's very few people. So everything's social distance. I will see. If it's not safe, if I don't feel good about it, that's it. we're done and we'll just shut it all down again. You know, we're all sick of this, right? Amen. But just because we're sick of it doesn't mean the virus is going to say, oh, okay, sorry about that. It's a virus. The virus is just there, you know. This is the problem. Dang, it's such a pain in the neck. And by the way, when you buy $200 of supplements and I send you this mindful mug, and if you're smart, you're putting in the InflaCrusher and getting ships free in the promo window, you'll also get a little note from me that says, I think you're pretty fab, you know? You know, those of you who've gotten my little notes know. Anyway, Friday's Q&A, so if you send us an email into support@savingdinner.com and put question for Leanne on Friday, if you have a nutrition question, food question, a cooking question, or anything else within the realms of, you know, appropriateness, I'll answer it. So just send it in. That's what you can do. And don't forget, while you're there, you can get your, you can find out about everything that you want to know about anything, recipes, etc. We send them to you on a daily basis. We do. We send them to you on a daily basis. It's called The Daily Dish, and it's absolutely 100% free. And by the way, we are, how many people? We have 74,999 likes on our Saving Dinner page right here. So if you haven't liked our page right now, go ahead and like it so I can watch the number turn over. And by the way, for 75,000 people, we're going to have some kind of a special deal going on. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll do something special for you, I promise. So our quote of the week is this, and I just totally love this. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. But if you argue, can't see, but if you argue for your possibilities, you get to create them. That should make you jump up and down with joy. We get to create our own possibilities. It's just all a matter of perspective. Isn't it so amazing? It's always a matter of perspective. You know, how are you going to look at this? I've shared with you 100 times how, you know, Mark and I stand on our beautiful deck looking over at this beautiful view, and here it is. I'm seeing this big, fat, woody woodpecker, 18-inch tall, pileated woodpecker. We can hear him. And I said, look, Mark, he's right there. And he said, I can't see him. And I said, at 12 o'clock, he's right there at 12 o'clock. Can't see him. Moved him over to where I was standing. He could see them. That's what perspective is. We see what we can see where we are. You know, that's just the way it works. We see what we can see where we are. All right, I'm checking to see if we got 75,000. I want to do that live. Come on, don't disappoint me. Somebody here hasn't liked it, because I know a lot of us follow. And no, we haven't, not yet. I'm waiting on y'all. Waiting. Let's turn to 75,000. Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about today, because I think this is such crucial needle-moving behavior thing, whatever. I want to say kind of almost a plumb line of how we need to move the needle in our lives and how we can become the women that we want to be. You know, this is how we can become the women we want to be. Marianne just said, receive my supplements today. Yay! Good job. Yeah, they go out fast, believe me. They come in, we put them out. So if the post office is delivering, we're all over it. So I want to talk about creating your own self-motivation, because, you know, we have this tendency to believe that it's going to come from nowhere. You know, we have this tendency to believe that out of the sky, motivation's just going to somehow gently fall down on us like rain. And it's just not true. I actually had a conversation one time with a woman who was stuck on the couch and her house was a mess. She was 100 pounds overweight. She was asking me, what do I just can't get motivated, you know? And I kept telling her, we had a conversation back and forth, and I don't remember who dropped the conversation, if it was me or her, because at some point, you know, if those who have ears to hear will hear, and those that don't. And I finally said to her, you know, at this whole thing is, you need to take responsibility for yourself. You need to get up off of your couch. You've already proven the couch theory. The couch theory doesn't work. You know that the sky is not going to open, the roof isn't going to open up, and all this lovely motivation is going to fall on your head, snap your fingers, and make everything go away. It doesn't work that way. What I have found is that there's some science involved in here, and it has to do with some of the chemicals that we can get working on our behalf if we do some of this work. And there's some mindset shifts that have to happen. That's when, that's why you're here, right? That's what we talk about here. And that's the support that we can give our lives that we really and truly want to lead. So we have to first make a declaration, right? And line it down, mark it in the sand and say, this is the way it is. Put a line, no, not crossing that line, not gonna believe this anymore. This is dumb. Motivation is not just going to come to me randomly. It's not. Motivation comes from when we stop being dependent on the outside world. We don't want to be dependent. We don't want to be motivated by fear and by saying, the doctor's saying, you better do this or you're going to get that. We don't want that kind of a motivation. Although that kind of a motivation is oftentimes what moves the needle, which is sad. We don't get moved by the good stuff. We get moved by something awful, like a bad diagnosis or a picture where we're horrified by what we see, or somebody saying something awful. That's sad, but true. That's oftentimes how motivation comes. But I want to look at it from the perspective of how do we create motivation in this vacuum that we're sitting in that doesn't have motivation right now. Or sometimes you've been in this place where you've been motivated one day, and then by Thursday it's gone. I've seen this over and over again on the sprint. And sometimes I even think maybe what I should do, and I'm not saying this, is say, okay, I'm going to charge for this, because I find when you put your money where your mouth is, you're going to take advantage of it. You're going to be better for it, and you're going to stay with it. Because when you pay, you invest in yourself. That's one of the things that I've learned. Otherwise you just say, oh, another free thing, yay. Let's just stack it up with all the other free things. And I don't want to do that. I want to introduce you to this world with my free program. But on the other hand, I see a lot of people who come in and then they're gone by Wednesday. They're gone. And that's because they haven't learned this art and craft, if you will, of self-motivation. It does not just come out of the blue. It doesn't just land on your head and stay with you. It has to have some kind of impetus to keep going. So the number one thing that I would say to you is that you have to remember who you are and who you want to be. Number one, who you are is who God created in the first place. And I've said this to you 1,000 times. I'll say it to you another 1,000 times because it is God's truth. You were created at this time for a reason, for a purpose, by God himself. And that's enough. Right there. That's enough. He didn't create you to just take up space. He created you for a purpose. He created you to do the work that he's assigned you. What is that? I do not know. But what I do know is this, that when you have foundationally laid down good health, good energy, good habits to support your life, you are going to have a vibrant life. A vibrant life discovers things. A vibrant life has a life that is worth living. A vibrant life is one that people look at and say, I want to be like her. I want to have that vibrancy in my life. A vibrant life is in the photos for the family. A vibrant life shows up and doesn't step out and doesn't give up so easily. That's what vibrancy is all about. Vibrancy is that person that you see and you say, yeah, I want what she's got. I get it. That's what I want. That happens when you remember who you are and who you want to be. And that's not incongruous. On the contrary, it is who you are right now and who you want to be can line up. There's a straight arrow there. Do you see that? There is a straight arrow. We are looking toward excellence and we are working toward it at the same time. Not perfection, because we all know what perfection leads to. It leads to paralysis, it leads to disappointment and frustration, it leads to all kinds of things. But having the grace with yourself to be able to keep trying, to keep going, to not quit on yourself, and to stay with it shows tenacity, and that's self-motivation, by the way. It is self-motivation, and it's incredible what happens. And it feeds your soul, and it feeds those around you, and it brings people in. It's amazing. Do you remember in Star Wars where Yoda, I guess, or Luke's father, I don't remember who it was, the guy who was it that raised Luke? And he said, remember who you are. And it was whispering through him. I don't even remember the exact circumstances, but he was reminding him of who he was. You're a Jedi, you know? You're a Jedi, therefore you're not defeated. Don't shy away. Don't hide away, but step up. And that's my call to you. Step up into the wonderfulness of who you're supposed to be. You will discover who you're supposed to be if you start to walk in it. It's not going to magically appear and happen, but it will start to appear. It will start to happen as you start to walk toward it. That's the best way to look at it. It's a journey. And when we embrace the journey instead of just the destination, we lose the frustration with ourselves and instead look at how to steady our steps and to make them more directed toward what it is that we want. And it's amazing because the journey is so much greater than the destination, believe it or not. And the journey is where all the teaching happens and where all the learning is embraced. 2 is you need to remind yourself that you can have a do-over at any time. You know, I had a little meme that I saw on Facebook that I so loved. You know, at any time you can just stop everything and scream do-over. You can. You know, we have the ability to do that. And yet, how many times do we not do that? The reason we don't do is, well, it's not Monday, so we can't start the diet, or it's, you know, we blew this, so therefore we're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And we have an all or nothing attitude. And that, my friends, will take your motivation and chuck it down the hill, never to be seen again. Instead, we can remind ourselves, you know what? Today was a complete disaster, but tomorrow I'm starting fresh. And this is what I'm going to do. And then you you pull out the tools. You know, if we don't use the tools, you can't build the house. You know, houses don't go up by doing this, and lives don't get created by not doing something. Everything in this life that you've ever wanted, you've worked for. Nobody, unless you're a trust fund baby, you know, and in that case, bully for you, you know, but, you know, most of us aren't. Most of us have had to work for everything that we've wanted. We've had to grow it, we've had to contain it, we've had to fix things and do things over. We've had to keep creating to get to the place that we want to go. You know, it's a journey, it's work, and it involves a lot of tenacity. And what I found after 25 plus years of coaching people in this whole field is that she with the most tenacity wins, because she doesn't grow up, she doesn't give up on herself. She doesn't just say, oh, well, you know, it's Wednesday now and I blew it, so therefore I'm done. She doesn't do that. She figures it out, and each one of us needs to have the tenacity to be able to figure it out, because your figure out and my figure out going to be different. You can't always look to somebody to say, figure it out for me. And as a matter of fact, that's pretty darn lazy. It's not figure it out for me. It's what are my tools? Show me what I've got and let me start working on it. Because I can't go to your house and build it for you. What I can do though is I can tell you, this is what you're gonna need to do. You're gonna need a blueprint. You're gonna need some tools to do it, you know, and some supplies. And then what you need to do first is this, second is that, third is this, and it's up to you to do it. because I can't do it for you. But I can tell you this, that when you do it, you do get to build exactly what it is that you have imagined in your mind's eye for all of your life. In the sprint today, I'm reading from all the different women that are in there that have lost, substantial weight, and they're saying these are numbers I haven't seen since my college days on the scale. What's that about? It's about tenacity is what it is. It's about using the tools. It's about making a decision for yourself. And you can mark that down. Making a decision for yourself is what's going to take you to the next place. I don't care where you are. You could have 300 pounds to lose for all matters. It doesn't matter. We lose it 1 ounce at a time. It just means you're going to be on this journey for a whole lot longer. So what? You're going to be living your days out anyway. Wouldn't you rather do it in vibrancy rather than regret? That's the questions that we have to be asking ourselves. There's your motivation right there. And inside of you is a strength that is so enormous. And all I'm doing is I'm poking you to make you look at it. I want you to see it, because this soul connect that we have with our minds, bodies, and souls, that's the thing that's going to change everything. It's not just about a stupid plan. If it was just about a plan, we would all be billionaires with six-pack abs, right? You know that quote. We would. There would be nothing holding us back. The only thing that's holding you back or me back or anyone else is the refusal to pick up the tools and use them. It's the refusal. Do not give up on yourself. When you quit on yourself, you're quitting on vibrancy. You're quitting on an optimal life. You are quitting on the life that you tell me that you want to lead. That's the carousel of crazy. This is the carousel of crazy. Trying over and over again, dumping the plan and starting over with somebody else, some other thing, some other diet, some other method, some other guru. And it's crap, because that becomes a lifestyle of thinking about your weight all the time, of being obsessed with it and not having any room in your head for anything else. Does that sound like a vibrant life to you? It shouldn't, because it's not. So here's the thing. Chemically, we have this thing called dopamine. Dopamine makes us feel good. This is why we go to food. Food could be a dopamine hit, for a minute anyway. And then we have regret and all the other stuff. You know what it is. You know what that looks like. That dopamine hit is fantastic. You can get it in other places besides food. You ready for it? First of all, if you are a meditator and you start meditating on the fact that you have dopamine inside of you, the fact that you have a strength inside of you, and the fact that you have abilities and strengths beyond what you know, that's going to start calming you down. And that's going to start making you start going on a fishing expedition and looking for that strength. Use your journal. If you have Take Back Your Life journal, use that. That stuff's gold. We start with gratitude and we move into intentions, and we create these intentions so that we can intentionally live. That is motivational. That's exciting, because now we've set up a framework for how we want our day to go. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. Write out your intentions and repeat them almost like a mantra. I am worth this effort. I am. I am statements are super powerful. Look in the Bible. It's full of I ams. That when God said I am, the earth shook for good reason, because of the power of that statement. If we're created in His image, hello, are you connecting all of these dots? That's powerful. Use that to your advantage. And then, the other thing is to get dopamine going. If you're exhausted and you're worn out and you've just, maybe you've got little children and a lot going on, get your sleep. Sleep can be a dopamine hit. Have you ever woken up and you're just so refreshed and thinking, oh my gosh, I needed that so badly? Well, that's sleep doing its thing, and it's going to give you a dopamine hit. So is HIIT training, high intensity interval training. We do that in the sprint, and we do that to get the dopamine hit. Dopamine is amazing because it quells that craving monster, and it puts in its place a whole bunch of dopamine, which is what you're looking for. That's what we're searching for. And then let's not forget about our supplements. Here are the supplements that will help you. Proactive Probiotic. We've got, I think, just a couple left in the shop, but when your gut is healthy, your body is chemically working right. You've got the chemicals. We've got all these hormones that need to be working right. We can't be doing that when our guts are leaking all over Kingdom Come. We got to fix that. And part of the fixing it is taking our probiotics. We also need to be taking the B complex. I've told you about this B complex, which is fantastic. And by the way, if you have a niacin sensitivity, which half the population does, you'll feel a little tingly and weird after taking it and thinking, oh my gosh, what's happening? You might even turn pink. I do. But that's the niacin doing its thing. It is nothing to be afraid of or fearful of or thinking something awful's happening. It is just it doing its thing. And this B complex acts as the buffer between you and the stress. It takes the stress, not you. That's what I would think. That's how I, put that whole thing out. Your CalMag, the magnesium, also taking care of it, also helping you to create dopamine. Also your vitamin D, they all work together, and we have them all right now, at least a few left. So the InflaCrusher takes down, I've already told you about this, but the InflaCrusher takes down the inflammation, and getting rid of inflammation helps to create a place where we can have our body working optimally. We can't work optimally if we've got everything in its as an obstacle, That's what happens to us. The other thing is, drink your tea. When it's tea time, take advantage of it. Green and black tea, hello. If you have any of our Wise Women's tea, you know what I'm talking about. That stuff also helps to stimulate dopamine. When we have our body's hormones working correctly, and we're healing them, and we're listening to our bodies, things start to move into place. That in and of itself is motivational. The other thing I would also add to that is, if you've got a body clutter buddy, for heaven's sakes, make a pact with one another. Make a contract with one another. And if you don't have one, and if you don't want one or whatever, there's a website called Sticks, STICKK.com, where you can put your money where your mouth is and make a contract with yourself and put money into the pool and maybe even win money. That's what you can do. There are so many different tools out there that you can do in order to change your body's physiology. Striking a pose, I've showed you the Wonder Woman pose. You got your fists on your hips. Pew, pew. You know the drill. It changes your physiology. And we need to change our physiology. And we need to go past the fear and into the acceptance of the fact that who we are is always, always, always going to show up with what we do. Lip service doesn't handle it anymore. You can't just fake it till you make it, for a while you can, but you can't do it sitting on your couch, You sit on your couch and you think that it's just going to come flying through the window at you, you're going to be sitting there for a whole long time. And I'm here to push those buttons and say, forget it, sister, get up off the couch and start doing something. Your doing something is going to completely change your life. Just stay with it. That's it. Stay the course. Stay the course. And be in our sprint group and get that support that you need. The ladies are there. They love you, they care about you, and they want to help you. But if you don't show up, you're not showing up for your life either. You're going to miss out. So let's create and take out the tools so that we can use them for self-motivation. Cassie's is exactly right. Did you see what she said? Faking it is so exhausting. I'm tired of thinking and talking. You got to do it. And that is exactly the truth, because When we think about it and we talk about it and we plan for it and we do all the research and we're just all about everything except the doing, do you know what happens? This is where it is. We just finally say, oh, this is just too much and it's too hard and I'm out of here. And then we go back to the whole thing and start all over again. That's the carousel of crazy. That's the carousel of crazy. And I want you off of it, you know? I want you off the carousel of crazy because it's never, ever, ever going to get you anything that you want. Just think about it. What does a carousel do? It goes around and around, and the little horses go up and down. They go nowhere, and their weight goes up and down. And that's what you're consumed with, is that. Versus a life that's vibrant, versus health that's optimized, versus getting the things that you want out of life, including those stupid genes. So do that, be that, and start right now today. It's Monday. I mean, what a good day to start, right? If you haven't started in the sprint, you can start in the sprint. Seriously, you can start in the sprint right now today. And if you're with me, and I did my sprint. I lost my 5 pound, my quarantine 5 that I gained from playing around with stupid, flour and bread and such. I lost all of that. So that's great. So there's a bunch of us who are doing this in the sprint group. We're doing dirty fasting on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That just means keeping your calories at 500 or below. Your body thinks it's fasting and you get all the benefits. If you add that into collagen loading, which means doing the collagen shots, there's a recipe on how to do that right there in the sprint, right here on Facebook, and using bone broth. Even better, because not only are you clearing the decks, but you're building up your skin, your gut, your joints, the whole thing. The collagen shots are incredible. Leanne, I see your name and you spelled it correctly. If you go to savingdinner.com and click on the sprint, the hot melt sprint, you'll get it. It's an 18-page document with recipes, everything that you need. And this is a lifestyle that many of us have adopted in order to combat the inflammation and combat the stupid carousel of crazy. We're so done with it. Thanks for joining me today. Hopefully we'll have some electricity here before 5 p.m. And don't forget to keep Jenny's husband in prayer. And all of us here are cheering all of you on. We are. And we're committed at Saving Dinner to doing the right, to always, sprint, not spring, sprint. savingdinner.com/sprint, SPRINT. The other thing that I would say is this is the last thing, one last thing, keep our supplier in prayer. Folks, it's real. It's still out there. It's not getting all the press, but I promise you it's still out there. You guys are everything, and I really appreciate the way that you always show up and the way that you support me and support Saving Dinner. You're the best. Peace be with you. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. same time. I got something really good for you. Well, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. Talk to you later. Bye.